7 KCAL rocks. It is Patrick in the morning. Time to talk some sports. We got quite the night and weekend of sports headed towards us. Pep, what's going on?
Oh, yeah, we're going to crank it up tonight. Thursday night football, Washington Commanders, Philadelphia Eagles, and of course, the Commanders commanded by our quarterback, Jaden Daniels, the pride of Cajon High School. In fact, I just saw something on Facebook that he actually spoke, probably via Zoom or Microsoft Teams, one of those. He spoke to the Cajon High School football team, I think it was last night, to kind of inspire them on this playoff run. They got a big quarterfinal CIF game coming up on Friday. So Jaden, huge game against the Eagles tonight inside their own division, but still making time for his Cajon Cowboys, man. That's awesome to see.
How cool is that? You're going to Cajon High School, dude, and you get to hear from one of the top draft picks, the Heisman Trophy winner, your alum. Yeah. You got that feeling of like, maybe I could be him. You never will, but you at least get that feeling, and it is very cool to hear from him. I love that stuff, dude.
Yeah, it kind of make you feel like, why not me? If Jaden can do it, like, why not me? So yeah, that's pretty awesome. But yeah, it's a huge game for to kick off the NFL weekend on Thursday Night Football with the Eagles and the Commanders. And then when you look at the rest of the weekend, I got to bring up my 49ers and your Seahawks, Patrick. I think the NFC West has turned into the black and blue division. It used to be the NFC North, but I feel like it's the NFC West because they're just taking turns beating each other up, and there's no clear favorite. Arizona might be the best team right now in the division.
Who knows what's going to happen? Our teams are a little up and down, especially the Seahawks. Who knows how they're going to play? I've heard that they're getting some offensive linemen back. Who knows how DK Metcalf is doing? I've heard that he's not doing very well with his knee, and he kind of makes our whole offense work. But it's like fighting your brother. CMC's back. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, from week to week, you just never know. So, even the Rams, for like a week or two, we're like, oh, man, the Rams are back. They're going to be NFC, champion contenders. And then they go out and lay an egg on Monday Night Football against Miami. And they've got the Patriots this weekend. I know it's on the road in New England, but that's a game the Rams should win if they are that good like we thought they were.
Yeah, maybe they'll battle back from playing poorly,
Yeah, so we'll see. The NFC West, I love it and hate it all at the same time. So we'll see. We got some big games coming up. The Chargers actually this weekend, their game with the Bengals flexed back to Sunday Night Football. So all of a sudden, Jim Harbaugh and the Lightning Bolts, it's must-see TV, Patrick.
Now, talk about polar opposites. The Chargers, steady as she goes, slowly building, never let anything affect you. I like how they're doing it, man. And yeah, of course it got flexed. This is a huge game. The Bengals are in must-win situations now.
Yeah, you could almost say the Bengals are in playoff mode already, right? Because they started so slow, and they've had some moments where it looks like the Cincinnati Bengals could turn things around. They're supposed to be one of the better teams in the AFC. They haven't been that team. They've shown glimpses of it, but they haven't been that team. This would be a huge measuring stick for them against the Chargers.
I remember when Bill Parcells says your record says, you are what your record says you are. However, I do feel in a lot of these losses for the Bengals, they've played very well. And I think we're forgetting that a little bit when we look at that record. I could see them coming to life.
Yeah, they've played a lot of good teams really close. Baltimore, Kansas City. Sometimes you have to dig a little deeper and I don't know what the record is, or 3 and whatever. Right. Or 4 and whatever. It's like, okay, but look at the games, man. They've gone on the road. They almost beat the Chiefs. They almost just beat the Ravens. So they're a really good team. They're just on the cusp of, several victories against, some of the prominent teams right now in the NFL.
A lot of bad luck has stricken them. Mm-hmm. I feel like some good luck is going to strike them.
Well, we'll find out. Maybe they can hang out with the Kansas City Chiefs for some of that good luck that they always get. Speaking of, that's probably the game of the weekend. If it's not Commanders-Eagles tonight, it's going to be Chiefs on the road at the Buffalo Bills. And if there's a number one contender out there to knock off Kansas City in the AFC, a lot of people point to the Buffalo Bills to be that team.
And Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills have been waiting for this for a long time. It would be sweet for them to finally kind of knock them down a peg.
Yeah, the Bills and the Chiefs have had some battles, including in the playoffs. I think maybe outside of probably Cincinnati, Joe Burr's had some success against the Kansas City Chiefs. But outside of them, Buffalo's probably the team that could knock off Kansas City. They have some history going head-to-head with Mahomes and Josh Allen. So it's probably the premier game. If you are hoping the Chiefs are going to lose a game, this might be it against Buffalo this weekend in Buffalo.
This could be it.
Maybe the luck will run out on KC. Who knows?
Ah.
All right, let's talk some college football. We got another top 12 rankings as we get set for our first college football 12-team playoff coming up. Right now, 4 of the 5 teams in the college football rankings are from the Big Ten. Oregon is number 1, followed by Ohio State. Then you slip in Texas at number 3, followed by Penn State and Indiana. Indiana, the Hoosiers are 10-0. So 4 of the top 5 teams are from the Big Ten. And right now, the team that looks like they might be number 13 on the outside looking in on that 12-team playoff, it's hard to believe, but it might be the Georgia Bulldogs.
We only got a few weeks of college football regular season left, and it's kind of fun. For the next 3 weeks, it's going to change.
Yes.
Depending on what happens in these games. Maybe some of them are going to stay the same, Oregon, stuff like that, because they do look pretty unstoppable, like they've figured it out. But it's going to get wild, and that's kind of the cool part.
It is. So if you're a team like maybe still in the top 20, you feel like, hey, there's a path somewhere. You might need some help, right? You might need some help from some other teams, need some teams to lose, but there's still a path to get to that top 12. And we're seeing teams, you mentioned, BYU, Boise State, Southern Methodist. There's these other teams out there looming that you might not normally see in that 4-team playoff, but now that they've expanded it to a dozen, it's going to make these last couple of weeks really interesting and fun for a lot of teams.
Even my alma mater, Washington State,
Yes.
is hanging in and looming at number 18.
Are they? They're Pac-12, right? Them in Oregon State.
Right.
I mean,
Pac-2. We may not have a home right now.
the Pac-2. Washington State out of the Pac-2. So, yeah, anything could happen, but it's going to be a lot of fun. In fact, UCLA, they're not going to make the 12-team playoff, but UCLA right now, they're 5-4, 3-4 in the Big Ten. They're actually having a better season than USC. They might be the best team in LA right now for college football, but they've got the Washington Huskies on Friday night. Then they play USC head-to-head next weekend, and they finish up with Fresno State. If they can win 2 of those 3, they will be bowl eligible. This is really good for a UCLA team that did not look very good at the start of the season, and a lot of people just kind of left them for dead.
Right. I mean, of course, you'd love to be in the playoff, but if you can't, getting into a bowl game is huge. It's money for the school. It's fun for the students, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, USC only has 2 wins in Big Ten play. UCLA has 3. Who would have thunk that, that the Bruins would be having a better year in the Big Ten?
Who thought that they'd fall apart and Moss is going to hit the portal and go to Michigan, they say.
Is that yeah, because they made a switch at quarterback at USC. So, man, USC was supposed to have this huge breakout season, and it has not panned out that way for the Trojans.
Kids, stick it out. Yeah. When a coach gets tough on you, don't just quit and go to a new team. Be tough.
Yeah, they run away from hard coaching, and also they run for that NIL money, right? Like, ooh, who's going to offer me some money? I mean, that's the landscape of college football. I'm not making that up. That's the way it is right now.
Yeah, it is.
So, anyways, big weekend of college football. The last couple of weeks is going to be awesome. And finally, Friday night, I'll be at some high school football games, but everyone else, you might be parked in front of your Netflix to see 58-year-old Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet still, taking on Jake Paul. I don't know, Patrick, where you fall on this. I'm kind of pulling for Iron Mike to beat Jake Paul, but Jake Paul has done all the talking. Mike Tyson's been pretty quiet leading up to this fight, and Jake Paul just keeps talking about how he's going to knock out Iron Mike.
I'm just hoping that this isn't a fake fight and not just orchestrated, to get a bunch of money for both of them, which I understand, get your money or whatever. But I do hope that it's a real fight, and it does have that feeling where, is this just a moneymaker? Is this going to be real? I think we all can hold out hope that maybe Mike Tyson will hear that bell and go Vietnam and flashback and kick the crap out of Jake Paul, who, by the way, had a little iron kind of diamond encrusted thing over his ear at the press conference to kind of taunt Mike to say, hey, I don't want to get my ear bit off.
Why taunt him, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why would you want to do that? I know he's 58 years old, but I saw some of the video of him training. Dude, he still looks vicious. He looks nasty. So I don't know. I hope it's real too. I hope it is really real. And Jake Paul, obviously a lot younger. He's actually even bigger than Mike Tyson. But, man, at least me, I'm pulling for Iron Mike.
I mean, he is a real boxer, so we should see how it goes. It is something that is going down on Monday. we shall talk about it, and we'll see what happened with our guy Pep. Tell him how to get your stuff.
Hey, get my stuff anytime. You can knock it out with local sports at Inland Sports, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We also have Inland Sports on YouTube. We're in the high school football playoffs right now. I know you know that, Patrick, so check us out. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.